Hey everyone, so today we're in the 2024 BMW 1 Series. This one specifically is the 1.8 M Sport, but it's actually got a 1.5 litre 3-cylinder turbocharged engine delivering 136 horsepower and 200 Newton meters of torque. So BMW moved to a front wheel drive platform for this one. A big change from the older rear wheel drive models. So let's see how they stack up. You can see that the rear of the car really looks quite sharp and stylish. However, the front of the grille is quite large and it feels a bit disproportionate to the rest of the body. It doesn't quite hit the mark for me, especially compared to the sleekness of the rear. Right, one thing you might notice is that it's got a clam-shaped design for the bonnet, which opens as like this. So this is the layout of the engine. Now if you look at it, you'll notice that there's no dipstick, which I think is ridiculous. You check the oil levels via the computer, which I don't like, because if there's some sort of malfunction there, then that's going to cause problems. So this uses BMW's twin scroll turbo engine. Now basically how this turbo works is it's one turbo and it provides the cylinders with the exhaust gases at different intervals, so that the drive is as seamless as possible, and it also kind of reduces as much turbo lag as well. Now this being the 3-cylinder, I think it feels lackluster. It doesn't really have the power that you'd expect a BMW to have. And if you look at in terms of the engine in relation to the axle, it is slightly over the axle. If they wanted to improve the handling, what I think they could have done is maybe move the engine a slight bit more back so it sits just on top or behind the axle, which essentially would make it more of a mid-engine car. But that's maybe one thing they could have done if they wanted to improve the performance and handling of it. So let's have a look at the car. So I actually really like these alloys. I think these are really nice looking, and these ones are donned in Bridgestone tyres. I like the design of these alloys. I think they're quite stylish. M, denoting it's an M Sport, where you get kind of bigger wheels and the trim is slightly more sporty orientated looking. From the back, let's look at the nuanced detail of the exhaust tip. I think this is like a nice stylish feature. That looks a bit like a diffuser, doesn't it? And it has something called BMW LED. I think these are laser lights, I'm not sure. At night time I'll try and get you a shot. They do look really cool when they're illuminated at night. And you'll notice the huge kidney grills, which is I think has been a controversial feature of a lot of BMWs recently of late. Let's take a look inside. Just before we do, the indicators on the mirror, I think that's a nice little touch there. So this is the interior. As always, BMWs are kind of known for being stylish, and from inside you can actually control the bolsters there to give more support, more lumbar support there. Press forward to give more support there, and press back to reduce. You can see that BMW has retained the M Sport steering wheel. However, I think this one is a bit too big. It would be better if this was slightly smaller. And then we've got all the different functions for the multi-function steering wheel, cruise control, if you want to make a telephone call, and hopefully volume control there. It's compatible with Android Auto and Apple CarPlay. You got the functions there, so you got the fog lights, regular light, and then you can change the brightness there. Notice that it's quite angular here. It's got like an angular design, but not in the way that the dash is pointed towards the driver. A lot of functions basically go through this screen here. Then we've got the climate control vents there, and volume control there for the stereo, etc. So let's look at this iDrive here. You've got two cup holders here, which I think are of a decent size. USB, you've got USB port there, so you can want to charge your phone or whatever item you need. You have the gear selector. Now to operate it, you press this button there, and then you shift down into drive or reverse, whatever you need. Engine stop start, so basically foot on the brake and press that to go. Electronically controlled handbrake, There's been a shift away from the traditional handbrake, and the iDrive dials go through there. So you've got media, home, map, nav, internet, and then you obviously press back there, and then you can press that one for the options. There are some cubby holes on the side as well. So if we look here, let's open it up, give you a bit more view to look at. So we've got a cup holder there, and there's storage of items there, put a pen and what have you. Now, one feature which I think is quite nice is this feature here. So at night time, it illuminates with a colour of your choice. You've got a selection of, I think, of about 5 or 6, like purple, blue, red, white. I think purple and blue are my favourite colours. Look at the design of this here. It's like angular shaped. Simply press this one here to lock the door, and as so to unlock there. This is the front for the passenger side. The sunshade, the vanity mirrors there, and we've got a glove box here. So let's take a look in the back. I think it's got Isofix there, so if you need to put a little child seat, you can do that. It doesn't actually come with a armrest, so let's get in. Now, to be fair, I'm about 5'11", and I've got quite enough headroom, considering this is a small car. You can see I've been in kind of a lot bigger cars where it doesn't have as much headroom. I think this is attributed to this being front wheel drive, because the transmission tunnel is a lot lower on this if you compare it to its rear wheel drive siblings, such as a previous BMW 130, which uses a 3-litre straight 6 rear wheel drive. Haven't driven that one, but I'd imagine it would be an absolute rocket. Such a massive engine, legendary engine, in fact, in such a small car, a light car. So I want to drive one of those. So it's actually not a bad place to be from a point of view as a passenger. But the seats, I think, are not. You can tell that it's been made to a budget, and it does remind me of a Toyota for some reason. Now, Toyota, I think, are brilliant cars. I love them. But when you go for a BMW, you're paying really, well, the expectation is you're paying for the sporty feel, for the quality. And I'm afraid it doesn't match up. If it's just had a Toyota badge on it and it was a lot cheaper, I'd say good, it's okay. But it's not. I'd say it's average at best. And for the price, I wouldn't purchase this car. It's about £30,000. £30,000 for an entry-level BMW. Get an older BMW, £10,000, you'll get a much nicer, more rewarding, engaging drive, and you'll save yourself a ton of cash in whilst you're at it as well. So this being the twin scroll turbocharged 3-cylinder engine, will rely on the turbo to give it a bit more of its kick, because 3 cylinders will struggle otherwise. But it seems to be kind of a growing trend now with automakers and manufacturers going to 3 cylinders and putting like turbochargers and goodness knows what else. Gone are the days where you'd have a big naturally aspirated V8 or straight 6, something of this nature. So driving impressions, what's it like? It's okay. I mean, I think one of the problems which you'll have is when you get into BMW, you have that expectation you're going to be getting into the ultimate driving machine. But sad to say, I think they've lost away a bit. Even with a dash, as kind of nice as it looks, I think BMW are trying to appeal to more people to get more of a market share. But, you know, as the old kind of saying goes, you market to everyone, you market to no one. And the olden BMWs, I think especially the E36, that era of 90s BMWs had it just right, with a front engine, rear wheel drive setup, minimal driver aids, physical buttons, and the dash was orientated towards the driver. You look at the old E34 BMWs, E32 7 Series, E36s, and then even if you look at the ones prior to that from the 70s, they're all kind of driver focused, which I think was what was the hallmark of BMW. Anyway, that's enough of me kind of ranting and moaning. Let's look at this one. So it's pleasant enough to drive. So let's stop we've stopped here. Now, one thing which really bugs me is that stop start. I mean, I don't know if you can turn it off. I've been looking in the menus, looking in the manuals, and I don't think you can do it, unfortunately, which I think is a real shame, because I know it's done for fuel efficiency, but give it some time and that will cause problems. Yeah, so, for example, when you're driving, as you're parking up, the engine will just cut out. It will just stop because of the stop start feature, which is irritating, because then you can hear it kicking in again as you press the accelerator. Part of the handling characteristics of front wheel drive cars is it understeers, which I think from a safety point of view for the majority of drivers is good. Yeah, so it's a bit easier to control. Whereas you compare it to the older BMWs of old, its predecessor, the 1 Series before this, that was front engine rear wheel drive. And I think the 3 litre model, the straight 6, will be a collector's item, because it's got 3 litre naturally aspirated straight 6, which is kind of tried and tested rear wheel drive in what is relatively a small light chassis, is a real pocket rocket, and I think that will be one to keep hold of. Oh, that's nice. XK8 just overtaking me. Look at that. God, there's something nice you don't see every day. I think that's a V8 model. Don't know if you'll see it going past me. Oh, it's good, that. Right, so okay, so it's okay, it's decent, but it just feels like it's a bit asthmatic. That 3-cylinder turbo do you know what it feels like? It feels like it's going to get worn out over time. I mean, you can't really go wrong with just a big engine. Okay, what you pay in fuel, you save in reliability, because it's a stronger engine. It will last longer. It's less wear on it. Yeah, it picks up to speed quite decent. The older cars were so much fun. Okay, granted, you got to be a bit more kind of on your toes. They keep you on your toes. You got to be alert, especially going around corners and things. But that was kind of what BMW were all about, wasn't it? I mean, I've had 6 BMWs, and yeah, BMW I think has lost its soul in many ways. I mean, some of the SUVs I quite like the X5. The X7 I think is very nice, but the essence of BMW is a driver's car, isn't it? And where the hell have they gone? Yeah, honestly, the old E46 I had 20 years ago had more kind of get up and go than this. Yeah, this is rear wheel drive, the older model. It's so much more fun. As you can see, I'm probably slating this car. It's not too bad. So, in conclusion, the 2024 BMW 1 Series is a well-rounded car that offers modern features and practicality. But for those of us who miss the old BMW days, it feels more like BMW strayed from its roots. The brand was known for front-engine rear-wheel drive setups, naturally aspirated engines, and a 50-50 weight distribution. They also have driver-focused interiors with physical buttons and minimal electronic aids. Does fall a bit short. I hope BMW considers returning to their roots with more driver-focused cars in the future. So if you're after a comfortable, efficient daily driver, this might be for you, but if you're a purist looking for that classic BMW feel, you might find it lacking.